Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Poyne, founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring, where we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. HSN Mentoring provides a turnkey solution for gym owners and coaches to feel confident when talking about nutrition to their members and their community, and saves them time because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. When I first launched HSN Mentoring in 2015, I didn't realize the magnitude of the problem we were solving for gym owners. I didn't realize that gyms outside of the US and Canada would be interested in the support that we provided to help them build a successful nutrition program. Well, within the first week, we had our first international gym to sign up for the program from Ireland. There were some unique challenges we faced, to say the least. They had different seasons. They didn't measure their food in cups or ounces, so the meal plans weren't going to work, and they didn't have the same brands as us. These challenges were awesome because it forced me to get creative in how we provide support for international gyms. Not much later, we started getting gyms to sign up for the program from Sweden, Europe, New Zealand, Australia, and at this point, we have gyms using the HSN platform all over the map. As we grew internationally, I realized we needed more support, especially with time zones. Angelica ran the nutrition program at a gym in Sweden when we first started. Then she moved away. And when she moved away, she reached out because she was so passionate about what we were doing. She wanted to come on board for HSN HQ. She supported some of the nutrition clients using our affiliate model for the past couple years. And one of her areas of expertise is client engagement. She has had nutrition clients, the same ones, work with her for well over a year. She is also our first international mentor. In this podcast, we talk about some of the differences and similarities with gyms internationally helping their clients with nutrition, and how she helps international gyms and nutrition coaches feel more confident when working with their clients on nutrition. Enjoy. Angelica, thank you for joining the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast all the way from Sweden.
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you for having me.
Super excited to talk today about all the things that you're doing, and goodness, you have a baby on the way, but all the things you're doing to help support international gyms, specifically using the HSN Mentoring platform. And before we get going with that, we actually got to meet in person at the Coaches Congress.
We did, and that was super exciting and fun since I've been working for you guys for almost 2 years now, and I actually got to meet you face to face, so that was awesome.
You've done such amazing things, but it first started with CrossFit Meet Us. You were the nutrition coach at Third Gym using the HSN platform, but talk to me a little bit about your journey as a nutrition coach. What got you started passionate about nutrition?
Well, I started with CrossFit. That was my starting point. And then I wanted to dive into university studies. And one of my biggest love in life is cooking food. So I thought that why don't dive into the knowledge about nutrition and food science? And starting studying at the University of Uppsala in Sweden, where I've ended a bachelor in food science and nutrition.
Awesome. So you got your bachelor's in science and nutrition, and then you started doing nutrition coaching for Meet Us.
Absolutely, where I implemented the HSM program for them and started challenges and one-to-ones, and super excited being one of the people that implemented the HSM program for them.
And that was a long time ago. I feel like we've made heaps and bounds with international support compared to, back when you were running the program. And really, you've taken that portion of the HSN mentoring program and run with it with Ashley, our director of nutrition education, to help support these international gyms.
Absolutely. And it's been super fun to see how much more we can give in the future. But we have come a long way in those 3 years when I started in the beginning.
Absolutely. And then you left there, ended up coming on board to work with some of our clients and, see some of the back end before becoming a mentor for HSN. Talk to me about what you've learned as a nutrition coach over the years. Like, how has nutrition coaching experience helped you help your clients more?
Well, in the beginning, I think I had very high expectations on myself as a nutrition coach and giving them as much as possible, because we have a lot of content at the HSM. But throughout the months and weeks and years, you learn that the less is better, and keeping it simple and just creating that pathway for our clients that are easy for them to be able to change their habits and routines in life. That's a big change for me as a nutrition coach from in the beginning to where I'm at now.
Absolutely. And you've done such a great job with that. You have had clients that have been with you for months, even like almost a year at this point, working with you. And it all starts from laying the groundwork at the beginning. We just ran a challenge and your clients converted to ongoing coaching. I think that's a huge strength as a mentor to help nutrition coaches feel more confident with laying out that groundwork, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's kind of, I'm very happy to have had that journey throughout that like 1.5 year with you guys before starting mentoring, because that helps me kind of give that journey for that new nutrition coach at that box to dial down your expectations and not doing too much because you want to help others, right?
Absolutely. We all got in this business because we want to help people. And I think sometimes as a new nutrition coach, you show all your cards, just maybe you're a little bit nervous or you want to provide so much help. And it a lot of times ends up being just way too overwhelming for clients.
Absolutely. I mean, in the beginning, I always gave them the meal plan. I always gave them everything that we have as a new client. But nowadays, I don't do even that. I use the portion guide, or I do something more simple, and that makes them more relaxed and happy about themselves as well. And that's what I think is a big strength for them as a client, to feel that, to make some stuff easy.
Absolutely. If it's easy, they're going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Right? You have to keep it so simple for clients. Now that you've become a mentor and you've really worked with the majority of our international gyms, there's a bit of a time difference between us and you guys, and, being able to help gyms take some of the material that we've built and make it your own to help your clients. Because there are some differences with international gyms. The foods are different. The seasons are different. Talk to me about how things are different with the international gyms that you work with.
I mean, first of all, I think a big difference, what I can feel as a mentor, even when I talk to the boxes in the US, is just the cultural difference. As you experience people in California versus New York, we have so many different cultures in Europe. So if you have some kind of knowledge of that, it makes it easier to connect with that box. And if you've been to the country or you've been to the stores in that country, to just get insight of how stuff works for them in their surroundings.
And you're on seminar staff for CrossFit, so you see even more cultures and boxes because you're going into them to teach level 1 seminars.
I do. I'm very lucky.
That's a piece of the puzzle that you're able to relate with a lot of these gyms, because you understand the cultures where we might not understand as much as, where you guys are at over in Sweden.
Absolutely. And I mean, it can be easy stuff. I mean, like how food products are built up, or the food stores are built up with food products, are very different even from countries within Europe. So even knowing that as a mentor to kind of guide the nutrition coach of having that insight for their clients.
Absolutely. So, helping them understand how to utilize that, as well as translate. I know in Sweden, you guys still, primary language. In some other countries, it's not English. So being able to translate some of the material, and we have made templates so that it's a little bit easier, and you help gyms navigate that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big difference between the US and here is that we don't have every product that you guys have. And that kind of just helps me to guide them what they can change that food product in our meal plan, for example. So it makes it easier for the nutrition coach and for them to guide, again, the client in the end.
Absolutely. What other differences do you see working with international gyms versus the U.S. gyms?
I mean, I think an interesting aspect of it is how stores are built up, and that kind of helps clients or nutrition coaches to understand a client's journey throughout when they go out grocery shopping, because they differ tremendously amongst, even here in Scandinavia, between Norway versus Sweden, and north parts of Europe versus south parts of Europe. in the US, you can almost find anything at good stores, like anything, and that you don't have here. And you have more candy in the end of a store in Sweden, where versus Norway, where you have a ton of frozen pizza at the end of a store. So that can be kind of a fun insight of having, and I think that helps a coach as well of how hard it can be go out grocery shopping, for example.
I think that's another important reason why it's nutrition coaches have to practice what they preach, because then they could take, some balanced snack options and give those based on what the nutrition coach is doing that works really well, what foods are readily available for them in their area, right?
Absolutely. And you can see that with pricing as well, that, I mean, potato, carrots and stuff like that after the summer is super cheap here. And that is one of our main kind of growth basis for food cooking here in Sweden. So that helps you out to kind of like tell them to buy those things because they are in season and stuff like that. Like around the Mediterranean, there's a lot of citrus fruits and stuff like that throughout the winter. So it's really fun to kind of dive into those kind of things as well.
That's one of the projects that Ashley started working on when she came on board, was helping, what's in season and international guides to help bring attention to healthy foods that are readily available during specific seasons. Because it is a lot different than in the US, right? Like down in the US, there's food availability is so much greater, probably because we have a lot of chemicals in our food that we can still grow at all times of the year, but so much different than other countries and other places. And like in Australia, it's the complete opposite seasons right now. So it's winter there for them, it's summer for us. Their foods that are growing right now is totally different. So it's important to be able to identify that and be able to provide those clients with the resources and tools to help set their clients up for success.
Yeah, and I think even though we probably have many of the things throughout the year, but you can see that in the way that foods are priced, and the pricing of foods differ between seasons. So that's kind of guide you as a coach to see that, this is a cheap product now because it's in season, right? Versus if we have a potato in February.
Absolutely. I remember when we first started having some international gyms, I think Ireland was the first gym that signed up with us, maybe 5 years ago. And the meal plans were just in ounces and cups. So all the information, which is a complete foreign language to many other places besides the US. So I had to go through all the meal plans and put grams and milliliters and everything. It took so long, but that was one step that we had to take to help support international gyms. And the next thing was like, hey, some of this stuff is in English. We need to get it translated to whatever language is working for that other country or their primary language. So, and then the client resources as well. So creating those templates and making it so that the videos are available for download and they can make their own videos and add their own videos to the app or translate some things so that it's easier for their clients to use the information that we provide, right?
Absolutely. With that thing with the measurement, that was a big thing when I started with HSN and Smedis. So that was a big work I did for just the box then. Just translating all the recipes, because when you come on as a client, it's a big step just taking. It can be a bit scary, so you want it to become as easy as possible. And even having a recipe in measurements that you're not used to, that can be a barrier for some people. So that really helped a lot of people, I think.
Absolutely. We invested in a software to help with that. So the measurements can be translated to whatever system that you're using to measure very easily now, which, it's a learning curve. I think as anything, if you're looking to grow a program or when you launch something, the version 1's never going to be as good as version 20. And, we're constantly progressing with that. And you as an international mentor can give us some different feedback that we might not be thinking as you're working with these international gyms.
Absolutely. And I think like I said, just prior to this, it's a very good thing of knowing the cultural differences, because there are cultural differences and there's nothing bad about it. I love that. I'm a mix between Greece and Sweden, so I know all about that. So, but it's a good way of, I think, I don't know, maybe in the U, like I have views about the US people being very upfront and direct, and maybe that doesn't work in Scandinavian countries where we are maybe a bit shy or don't talk as much. So those things kind of dial into your client and knowing how to approach that person.
Definitely is a learning curve as a speaker. I spoke at the Coaches Congress in Sweden, and I was like, raise your hand if you do this, or someone give me an example. And, you know, everyone was kind of a little bit more timid versus in the US, it would have been like every hand up trying to answer the question. So it is interesting to start learning the cultures. And even, you know, we went out to eat a few times in Sweden with you, and it was so interesting to see. And Jason, my husband, and I still talk about it today, like, no one was on their phones, not one person.
No.
When you go to a restaurant, you're there to communicate with the people at your table, and you really enjoy that time. And you go to a restaurant here, and it's so much different. People are rushed. They're eating more. They're mindless eating because they're doing 5 other things, even when they're at the restaurant where you should be spending time with your family. And I think there's some really positive things with other cultures that we as Americans should take note of, because you're much more mindful when you're paying attention.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was surprised when you told me that, because, I mean, when you go out to a restaurant, that's a part of like your life of going out and taking care of those relationships with your family or friends. And yeah, a phone is not so popular to have in front of you then.
It was awesome. And that's definitely something that we've kind of looked at. How can we do better, especially when we're going out to dinner with our kids and, you know, even dinner at home, like getting our phones away. And that's really becoming more and more important to us, realizing like this isn't the example we want to set for our kids, right?
Absolutely not. And that's something I think I bring to a lot of my clients working in the US, to kind of not sit in front of the television and eat and stuff like that, to be mindful of what you're doing when eating.
In June 1st, we released the Master Habits course that talks all about mindfulness and the 4 core elements of mindfulness. Ashley and I did a podcast on mindfulness. It's, you know, such an important topic as a nutrition coach to be able to look at the whole picture and not just what your clients are eating, but what are the other factors that are affecting their weight loss that you might not even, you know, think about initially, right?
Absolutely. And that was one of my favorite courses when going to university, about how much food is connected to our emotions and feelings and the mind and soul, or whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of where I work with my clients as well, of putting that aspect into play, not only calories and macros and clean food. Of course, that's a part of it, but that other part, what are you doing around your eating times, or when grocery shopping, or when cooking, and so on.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about substantial weight loss that your clients need, it has to be a holistic approach, not just looking at what foods. You just helped a client celebrate a huge milestone, losing over 50 pounds, even during the quarantine. And, you know, it didn't come overnight, but there were so many factors that went into her success, which I think allows you to become a better nutrition coach to support your clients, right?
Absolutely. And having that kind of human approach, or a very empathetic, right?
Yeah,
that's the word, approach. Because, I mean, I'm not perfect, and that's a lot of things that I bring up with my clients, so that, oh, this weekend didn't go well, how did it go for you? And we kind of compare our stories, and they're like, oh, so you do eat candy sometimes? I'm like, yes, I do, and it is okay, but we come back to our Good Nutritional Monday again and start the journey again. Like, having setback is a part of the journey. It's not the whole picture of what you're doing.
Absolutely. You have to show empathy and also show authority and be that person to keep your clients accountable. But empathy is definitely a big part of your role as a nutrition coach and a guide to help your clients achieve their goals. You know, we talked a lot about the differences between international gyms and the US gyms that we've learned over the years, and it's been a really awesome learning experience for us as a company to help support international gyms. We have gyms in Malaysia now and a bunch in Australia and New Zealand, lots of different places, which is so cool. But, you know, at the end of the day, people that join the gym are still looking for the same thing no matter where they go. They're looking to feel more confident in their skin, and they're looking in many places for weight loss, right?
Absolutely. And it is unfortunately a growing trend of chronic diseases and diabetes and stuff like that comes with overweight. So that's not a thing in the US only. I think we reached that half of our population in Sweden 2 or 3 years ago are overweight. So it is a growing problem. And I think everyone wants to feel, as you said, comfortable in their skin.
Absolutely. An interesting thing that I learned when we were in Sweden was everyone rides their bikes. There's so much activity and walking around that you just don't see in the US, which is really, really cool. I loved that. But it's true. People in every country, people are getting bigger. They're eating more. There's more processed foods. And no matter where you are, your clients need help with nutrition. They need support. They need accountability. What are some other things that you think, no matter where you are, because you've worked with US clients before, what are some similarities between those clients and your international clients in relation to helping them on their journey?
I think I can draw a very kind of comparison to CrossFit. You have this view of what CrossFit is and that you should be fit before even starting CrossFit. And it's scary to take that step into the box, and it's scary to take that step of getting help with nutrition because everybody should know how to eat, right? But you don't, and then you feel not so good about yourself. So I think that's a kind of common thing where I see where you're scared to take that first step, and then they realize that we're kind of the same, and everybody has those fears of changing or taking that step of getting coached in nutrition.
And absolutely. And the marketing and branding piece of that, helping your potential new clients understand how you can help them, is the same no matter where you go, right? Like you have to be talking about nutrition regularly. I know you share a ton of recipes. You track your workouts using our little 16 time a month thing, but it no matter where you are, it's still the same thing. Like people need to eat healthy and move more to achieve the results. And that comparison with CrossFit, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You're right. It's scary. The first step, people use food to hide emotions, and there's so much that goes beyond just the food that they eat. And sometimes they're just not ready to change that, right?
No, not at all. And I think media has put a very weird way of diets and how to lose weight and making it pretty hard for them. So when they start coaching and using our platform and the content we have, they're kind of like, well, I could do this, and feel that they're growing with every week and day. And then the results of maybe losing a couple of pounds or kilos are coming after that. But the steps that we're taking with our clients are so simple that it's not about a diet or getting that six pack for this summer. It's about a long-term commitment, a goal for life.
Absolutely. And, when you look at the fitness pyramid, nutrition's at the bottom, right? Yeah. Like we all know nutrition is the first step to help you achieve wellness and take control of your health. And it's often the toughest step. The easier part in my mind is getting to the gym for an hour and getting that workout and sweating, but it's all the other prep time and all the other 23 hours of a day that goes into you seeing really, really good results, right?
Absolutely. And I think that it takes a while for some people to just come to that realization. As when you start at a gym, going to the gym is the hardest part, and then you feel awesome after that 1 hour of a workout or whatever you've been doing, and coming into and doing that routine, then suddenly you just do it by nature. And that's the same thing with the nutrition or the habits that we're setting and the routines. After a while, you start feeling the change within you. You feel when you're eating maybe something that wasn't the best. You feel that inside that, I don't feel as good about this. And you choose the better option next time due to that.
Absolutely. And that goes into really intuitive eating, right? Like you understand how you feel and you start relating how you feel with what you ate. And that connection is such a huge breakthrough for many clients because they don't even connect those two things.
Very much so. I had a client the other week just that felt that the digestion was going better than ever in the last 20 years. And that thing is a really good big win, because there are people taking pills towards having better digestion, but changing food can make you, heal yourself, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think another great example is in the gym, right? If you have a client coming in at 6 a.m. and they are feeling terrible, low energy, not able to finish a workout, my first question is, what did you eat this morning? What did you eat last night? And, or a client that, they push themselves a little bit too hard and they might get sick during a workout. It's like, what did you eat last night? Oh, you had wings and some ice cream and you didn't have anything this morning to eat. Do you think that that could have affected your workout? And put it on them. Like, how do you think that affected your workout? Or when you feel better, when you do better in workouts, what did you eat the night before? What did you eat the day of? And let them kind of connect the dots, because so many people do not relate food to fuel. And that has got us a lot to the obesity problem that we're in today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think food is connected to a diet or a way of lifestyle, but it doesn't need to be. They can truly be part of your life, whoever you are. And just, I mean, I love the way HSN platform and every content we have that we can work in, give that to both boxes and clients to show them how easy it can be. And they feel a win every time. You just feel so proud of your clients and boxes to see that change with that client.
Absolutely. It's so amazing to watch, gyms finally build nutrition. That's been the missing piece of the puzzle for so long. And, I know during even level 1, right, it used to be an entire zone talk, and now it's encompassing all the different types of diets and really just helping guide your clients into what they can commit to and keeping them accountable. And you have to be consistent with the message that nutrition is important beyond a sentence and keep your clients accountable if you want them to see amazing results.
Absolutely. And I think, as with the nutrition talk within CrossFit, I mean, start with the easy steps, and that can be a hard step for other people, but clean food and just trying to eat your macros and eating that support your fitness and not fat and stuff like that. And I mean, but that is where HSN have that good bridge of, because there are people out there that has 2-3 sodas every day. So that can be a big step of just helping that person to get off the soda. So I think that's where HSN has a big play of coming to the first step of eating clean.
I love that. And that it just does take the first step. And that is often the hardest. And a lot of times when I work with clients, I'm actually telling them to eat more vegetables, fill your stomach up with that first before you end up going to the breads and pastas and all these other processed foods. Like, you don't have to think of taking away everything. Think about adding more stuff, more healthy stuff first. And then the secondary thing to that is you end up eating less of the junk food.
Exactly. And I think that's a big similarity wherever you are, that clients are amazed how much you are supposed to eat, and you give them like the okay side to eat more. And of course, within the things that you suggest them to eat, which is a lot of veggies and fruits and stuff like that. So, but that is a funny thing. I think a lot of both me and my clients have laughed about how much they are allowed to eat. And that I'm like, if you like eating, well, welcome to our program.
Yeah, we want people to feel satisfied. I know I don't like to be hungry. You don't like to be hungry. Like, we want to feel satisfied with our food, and we don't want to starve ourselves, because that's not going to be sustainable, right?
No, not at all. And that's just I think a lot of people go back to their old habits and routines because they have that feel of fulfilled sensation that they have with maybe the less good food that they have chosen before.
Absolutely. We want to foster a positive relationship with food, and that really goes through the accountability and support of a nutrition coach. Angelica, you've done such an amazing job working with international gyms. We're super excited about the future with international gyms as we're growing with an international presence. Any final thoughts you would say to gyms internationally, or really anywhere, about adding nutrition into their gyms?
I think this is nothing I've done a survey on, but I think there are many boxes that, as a client, is afraid to take that step because it is a bit scary. Like, I'm not a nutrition expert, and how can I guide these people? And I think, well, if you have your heart in the right spot and you want to help out people, the HSN program and the content that we have will help you out to become a good nutrition coach if you just have that interest. So I think there's a lot of boxes that are afraid to take that first step into going into nutrition coaching, because that may be something unknowable for them.
Absolutely. Nutrition coaching is 90% relationship. And if you can build a relationship with your clients and keep them accountable, and most importantly, keep it simple, you're going to be able to help clients see amazing results long-term, not just a quick fix in a silly challenge or a quick fad diet, right?
Absolutely. And I think just comparing to what they're doing at the gym or other kind of help that they may be doing as a physicist, no?
Mm-hmm.
So just comparing that, what do they do except coaching or helping with nutrition? What do they do to find those similarities? And it's pretty much the same.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a bit scary to take that first step into a world where you may be not so comfortable, but well, we grow out of that, right?
Absolutely. Got to take the first step.
Yeah.
Angelica, thank you for all that you do. I appreciate you coming on the podcast today. I know you're about to have a baby so soon. We're so excited for you, your first little nugget. Thank you again for all that you do to help support international gyms. I know there's a gap that needed to be filled to help support these gyms, and you're doing such an amazing job. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, for having me, and thank you for just letting me be part of this program and company and journey. It's amazing. I really truly believe in it wholeheartedly.
Awesome. If you are an international gym looking for help building a nutrition program, head over to growyournutritionbusiness.com and book a free call today. Next week on the podcast, we have Ellie and Alex from Cultivar Health in Australia. They have such an amazing and inspiring story. You do not want to miss it.